Hey folks, Landstryder here, and welcome back to another episode of TerraFirma Punk. I'm here with Dornall.
Hey.
We're loaded up with our pistols. So I got a couple things to talk about today. Let's first talk about the last stream. So if any of you guys watched the last stream or tuned in or went back and watched it, you probably seen me get losing my cool at the end. I apologize for that to the viewers and to the other streamers on and YouTubers on the server. I really was just having a bad day there for a minute and lost my cool for a little bit. Oh well, stuff happens. Moving on. So, but the reason I lost my cool is because I don't know, I was kind of a little bit upset with things in the pack, and it was really nothing that. What am I trying to say here? Some people might be completely happy with the challenge level of this pack. I think the balance is just a little too on the hard side. So we made a few suggestions. I don't know if any of them will get implemented. We made a couple suggestions to One Wolf, and then we made a few implementations on our configs. So we've removed the alchemist special infernal mob. So there's no mobs that continuously throw poison at you. We also removed the poison effect off of those, so that you don't the poison and the wither, because wither pretty much is the same as poison in TerraFirmaCraft. I mean, it does. You can't even tell the difference because it's the same. It gives you the same buff. So yeah, we changed a couple of configs there to maybe get rid of the really nasty ones, and then I also increased the amount that our healing potions work. In the config files, it was set to a factor of 15, which basically almost does nothing. I mean, as far as health goes, from an instant potion. So the default is supposed to be 50. We tried 50. That still seemed a little low, so we jacked it up to 100. So now healing potions are actually worth making for us. So now these potions of instant health are actually quite useful. Potions of what's that?
That sounds fun.
Yeah, potions of regeneration though are still pretty much equally as useless as they were before, and I can't figure out how to change that without writing a mod. And if somebody is interested in writing a very simple mod that allows us to adjust how much the regen potion works, I would be like super ridiculously grateful. And of course, I would immediately put it on our server in our pack. I don't know if One Wolf would want it. I'm sure he actually would want it. Anyway, that's that. And then the final adjustment that we made, where we made guns useful. I mean, One Wolf, he multiplied the damage by about like 100 originally, which to us that sounded like great. These are going to be super effective. Well, if you watch the stream, you find out that they're rather not effective at all, because the health system in TerraFirmaCraft is basically multiplied by 1,000. And if we only increase the damage of the guns by a factor of 100, they're basically going to be still pretty much useless. So I went back into those configs, and we've increased the damage by a factor of 1,000 to try to match the health system. So now these guns pretty much one-shot most of the little mobs. When it comes to like the bigger mobs and the bosses, 2-3 shots at least.
All right, so what you got going on here?
Okay, so yeah, we are down at the site of the. You guys remember I made the spawner with the fans and stuff like that. Well, a lot of you guys pointed out that Beevil Guy, so full credit to Beevil Guy, made a spawner system down here with a gas that produces, well, considerably more than my first setup. So I wanted to go ahead and take a look at that. So we've basically more or less copied it, but not entirely. Well, not entirely. There's some subtle differences here. For one, I've moved the spawners a little closer together. So in fact, we actually need to come in here and show something how something works here. To do the moving of the spawners, we had to make our special piston. It's really confusing down in here. Okay, the other thing, if you want to see how to make this setup for the spawner, I'm not gonna like go through all the little steps and stuff like that. You can see that we're walking around. There's chambers, there's fans. I do recommend that you go watch Bevel Guy's tutorial if you want to learn how to set this up, because he goes through it step by step and explains how and why everything does what it does. In fact, I'm almost regretting that I moved them closer together, because after I've seen how the water collection system works, it is actually designed to work with the spawners where they were at in their original position. But I'm moving them closer together so I can share some walls, basically, make it a little more compact. Did I bring a button? Do I have a button here somewhere? I need a button. Where's my little dude? He's in here somewhere. He's lost in here. There he is. Oh, and we've been having lots of lag today, so I think there was some exploration done earlier today on the server, so things are slightly laggy. But I had to make these things from Pistronics, so let's look at those recipes real quick from Pistronics. Interesting mod. I do recommend that you make the Book of Gears if you don't know how the mod works, because it does explain it out quite well. And if you want to look at that, Dornall, I think the chest guy, Sir Toast has a copy of that. Somewhere I had a copy of that.
Okay, well,
Somewhere.
Yeah, this is confusing. I don't know how to get out.
It's a maze back in here, yeah. Anyway, I've got to get this piston here. So to use the Pistronics, you need at least a mechanical piston, some rods, and a extension. So we've got the sticky extension so that we can move blocks. Now, the thing about Pistronics is these mechanical pistons only push in one direction. So to get it to push the other direction, you actually have to flip it around. Or if you want a piston that goes out and comes back in, you actually have to use 2 of these mechanical boxes instead of just one. So, but when I apply a redstone signal to this, you're going to see that it pulled that rod through, and you see there's now a rod right here. You can see that it moved the spawner 1 block. Now, if I do this again, it's going to fail. See, it's like puffs off smoke. It's like, no, I can't do it. And that's because there's still the rod back here. This rod can't go nowhere, so I have to actually break this rod before I can move the piston again. So I pick that rod up, and then I can push that again. It pulls another rod back. And there we go. Now the spawner is right there. I think I could actually pull it back 1 more, but I don't need to. Actually, I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't want to do it because it would move that spawner to a place where then I'd have to put it back. So there we go. That spawner is now in the proper position for my setup here. I get the piston thing back out. I still need to move this one other spawner right here. Where'd it go? Right here. Yeah, this spawner right here. So I'm going to set the mechanical piston there. And then let's go ahead and put the extension right in there. Okay, so the extension will go in straight in like that. And then we can, oops. Now here we go. I've made a mistake. I've placed that the wrong direction. That won't work. So I gotta break that and put it the right way. So now when I push the button, it should extend out. Yeah, good. But that's not touching yet, right?
No.
Now there's another thing called a folder box that I didn't make yet. I think that's what it's called, folding box. Rod folder. There we go. The rod folder you can put right behind one of these pistons, and instead of the rod, keep pushing out the back, it'll go into the rod folder, and then that way you can actually store like 20 rods or whatever, however many rods you need in that. Let's go ahead and push this one back out 1 more. So now we're touching the.
You need 1 more.
1 more. I'm not touching it yet.
There you go.
So there we go. Now, to get it to go. No, I didn't have to do that. I could have just built it the other way, but I wanted to demonstrate this right here. So the tool is literally what it's called. It's called the tool. You will want this if you're going to be doing anything with Pistronics for sure, because it allows you to rotate. Now you want to ignore, well, actually this recipe is the one that I used because it actually was easier than this one, which requires an iron gear. I'm like, no, heck with that. I'll use up all this wood and make that gear. And then, of course, I've already got piston rods and the sticks. Oh, okay, spruce twigs or whatever. But this is how it makes the sticks. Just 3 TerraFirmaCraft sticks makes a vanilla stick. So there we go. We got the tool. And the tool will allow you to rotate blocks. I think it will allow you to rotate just about any block. Yeah, see? Neat. You can even rotate these blocks. But this is the block I need to rotate. And it needs to face this direction because I want to pull it back. So now when I push the button, it's going to start moving that spawner back to where I want it. One more push. Oop, can't go nowhere yet. One more push. And that's going to get our spawner right where we want it. Now I can break all this stuff. And that's how Pistronics can move spawners. I really want to come up with some cool stuff that we can do with the Pistronics later. I think I might make some elevators out of it. Maybe. We'll see. But now, here's the hard part. Well, maybe. Here comes the hard part. So now we got to get this to work. So one of the things that the Beagle guy was said that he was having an issue with is because while you're building this, all these things are spawning. You know, all those spawners are spawning gas on top of you and makes it really hard. Now, I actually didn't have too much of a problem because I had most of this area already filled in. So what I did is I just came back, I filled it all in with, real quick. I killed a couple gas, filled in the remaining open area, and then I went back through and started digging it out. And while I'm digging these chambers, I'm leaving these columns in the center so that there's never more than a 1x1 corridor. Because as soon as you get a 2x2x2 space, that's where they can spawn. As long as you never have a 2x2x2 space, they can't spawn in there. So I actually didn't have to deal with too many while I was digging all this out. But now the thing is I need to start up all the fans. And you can see that my fan system's a little different than Beagle guys. Beagle used a whole bunch of expensive brass cogs. Guess what, guys? Wooden cogs will work. They're sufficient. They sufficiently power the 4 fans. No problem. So let's get these started up. Now, one thing I did notice is that, yeah, no matter, and like Beagle said it too. No matter how hard you try, it seems like they're always spinning the wrong direction when you first start your system up. So if we come down here, this fan is probably, yes, it's facing the wrong way, I bet. You see, as soon as I spawn that guy, see, now I got an issue. As soon as I removed a thing, as soon as I removed a block. So we actually need to put this fan back. Can I do that without? No, I'm gonna have to break that. Can you put a block in there for just a second? Or do you have a block?
I don't have a block.
Okay, I had a block. Go ahead and break that block again and then reattach the cog. Or can you? Do you have cogs? Now he's taking suffocation damage because he just spawned at the point where he's got his head in the wall. I'm pretty sure that the fan is not blowing the right direction. I'm going to go ahead and break these 2 more blocks right here so we can actually determine that. Yeah, see, I see a little... Yeah, see, he's being pushed down. He's getting pushed down into the ground. So, pretty much, I can guarantee you that all 4 of the other fans are turning the wrong direction because they're all turning the same direction. So all I need to do is smack the pendulum once, and that turns the whole system in the opposite direction, which means all the fans are now sucking up. So let's do that to these other ones real quick. That one's already... Oh, you already started this one up. Did you switch these ones? No.
No, I haven't done anything.
So that one's going to need to be switched. And that one's going to need to be switched. So now they all should be sucking up. Now, we can go in and remove all the columns out of each one of the spawn chambers. At the same time, we also need to clear an area out below. So we actually want to go down 2 blocks here like this. And I think, yeah, we want to leave this wall. But this wall right here, we actually want to clear out. So we're going to be doing, I'm actually going to use this to
lag?
Yeah, a bit. A bit.
Okay, so what's killing them?
What is killing them is suffocation damage.
Oh, they're being sucked up into the ceiling?
Sucked up into the ceiling fan, yeah, basically. You know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and clear a 3x3 area, a 3 tall area underneath the whole thing, and then if we need to, we can add back in a layer. Because that's going to be the easiest thing to do with this mining drill, is just do this. I'm not going to do all this on camera. I just want to show you one here. So yeah, this will be cleared out like so. We'll clear out the whole, you know, you don't really want to stand there because they will shoot at you. But the whole time that we're clearing it out, that we're going to be, you know, they're going to be like spawning above us and stuff like that. So, you know, I'll just do basically go across, you know, like so, and then we'll clear out the floor.
You got one above you.
Yeah, I know. Most of the time they won't attack if they're far enough away from you, like they won't bother. But and then I need to take out all of this level right here to open up these chambers.
Can I shoot the one?
Yeah, if you want. Like so. And then I will also go back and fill in these little walls, all these walkway walls that we had. And then everything will be falling down here, and then all you need to do is make a water collection system, and we'll have all the gunpowder we could ever want for our guns. Which is pretty much why I wanted to fix this up, because now that we have really good guns that actually do something, I want to be able to have lots of gunpowder to reload them.
I understand.
Okay, I think that's it for over here. The next thing is we need to get over, and you have some things ready for us to go. So we're going to head back over to the base, and then we'll be back with you in just a moment. All right, we're back at the base. Before we get into crafting new stuff, let's talk about old stuff. As promised, I've completed the turtle program for lumberjacking. He's right there. He's all kinds of cool features that I added. I don't know if you happen to watch my stream where I initially made this program. I've added some more features. I've added some little neat things where he, like, you know, I put some feedback basically. So the robot. So if you actually look up to him, he'll say things. He'll say things occasionally in here. But right now, is he? Yeah, he's in the middle of doing his program. But I've set up some stuff. So here's how he works. If he grows trees, he uses bone meal. So he's got bone meal behind him. He's got a bone meal reservoir. He only works in the daytime. So at nighttime, he actually goes to sleep. And that is because bone meal won't work at nighttime. I don't know what mod does that, but it's a thing. So there's no point in having him waste his bone meal at night. So he stops at nighttime. The way I'm doing that is I got a daylight sensor that sends a signal over here to this basic gate. This basic gate sends a redstone signal up to this basic gate, and this basic gate is outputting a normal redstone signal, a red pipe wire. So all that just to get a redstone signal in the daytime. I didn't need to be that complicated. But I put it down there because it won't interfere with the sapling gathering process. So right now I've only got two. I've got the chest and the robot himself. But the robot himself, whenever he moves, any saplings that fall on his head will actually end up fall down and get sucked up into the system. So for the most part, there's not too many saplings lost, and that was my goal there with that. He also drops off excess birch saplings into this chest right here. You can see that I've got 3.5 stacks of saplings built up now, and he will not move again until the wood level goes down. So the way I'm accomplishing that is I've got a comparator checking that hopper, sending a redstone signal, and that's why I have this hickory plank here, is basically just to cut that redstone off so that it has to go all the way around to here. And then it sends a redstone signal into this hickory plank. The robot is actually checking if there is a redstone signal coming in on his top. So if there's a redstone signal coming in from the top, which there is right now, he will pause and wait until the level of wood goes down to the point where the where the hopper can accept more wood. Basically, I didn't want nothing to overflow. So there's anti-overflow code built in. Basically, I'm going to take a quick look at the code. Maybe explain a little bit of it, and then we're going to move on, because I'm sure code is not that interesting to some people, but you're going to want the paste bin code for this, which I need to look up. Give me 1 second. Okay, I've went out and copied that code to my clipboard. Now I'm going to hold Control and I'm going to press T, and then I'm going to hold it down for a few seconds to terminate the program. Now, he's not in start position right there right now. I've written a very small programs for this, and this one's not part of the main program, but if I just have a reset program, which basically tells him to go back over there and go to that's where he should be at when he starts, when you start the program up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete my lumber program that's on here right now. And then I'm going to go paste. This is what you would do if you were trying to load this for yourself. You load this particular program for yourself. Paste bin. Get. We've got some lag, which is why my stuff's not. There we go. Paste bin. Bin. Get. This is where we put our code. This is the code. It's I7DH4W6 capital V. And then we want to call that lumber. You can call it whatever you want, but remember that's what you got to type when you want it to run. And then there we go. So now I'm going to tell him to go ahead and lumber. Oh, actually, you know what? Stop. Don't go. Oh. Did he do something? He did a little bit of something there. That's okay. I wanted to look at the code first. So let's edit that. And we'll look at the code real quick. I put a big old comment at the top so that you kind of know how the program is meant to be worked. So if you have to find this and you didn't watch my video, so maybe... So there's a function called dream. The dream is basically what he does if it's nighttime. So I've put in a little bit of stuff, but the if rs analog input bottom is greater than 1. That's the key point there. So it's looking for that redstone signal on the bottom. If it does find a redstone signal on the bottom, it'll continue on. If it does not, it'll sleep. It'll go while that redstone is less than, or is greater than 1. No, it's less than 1. Yeah, it's less than 1. While the redstone is less than 1, sleep for 30 seconds. So at that point, it checks the redstone signal every 30 seconds before it'll continue on. Function breaks is basically the same thing, except it's checking whether or not the hopper is full. So if the hopper is full, it'll stop there. It'll sleep every 30 seconds. It'll keep checking that redstone signal. Once the redstone signal is turned off, it'll continue on. So there's a function called bone, which is actually what I run whenever I want it to reload the bone. So it actually checks if it has bone meal. If it does not have bone meal, it attempts to pull some out of the chest. If the chest is empty, the turtle program stops, because at that point you want him to stop because he doesn't have the materials. So I don't want him to continue. He also will stop if he runs out of fuel. So the program will terminate under those conditions. If it runs out of bone meal or fuel, the program will terminate. There's a function called gas up, which basically keeps the fuel level at an acceptable level to function. And then the primary function called lumber is the one that actually does the tree cutting down and the planting and it also does the bone mealing. That's all within that same function. And there's a function called drop off, which actually is where you. This is like the one point where you might make a change if you run this program, depending on how far away your drop off point is away from your farm. So ours is six blocks away, so that's how far he has to go over that way, and then he comes back. That's all there is to it. And then if we look all the way at the very bottom, there's the main program loop, which he checks occasionally to see if he needs to drop off, but for the most part, he just gasses up and cuts trees. So there we go. There's that program. It's again the pastebin code. Let me just save that, exit. I'll throw that pastebin code right there again for you guys. It'll also be in the description down below. And then we're going to go ahead and say lumber. Now I put in a bunch of. Maybe we are. Is he? Yeah, he's doing his thing. He's bone mealing. You can see the bone meal's going down. He really doesn't say nothing unless there's a tree or something like that. Yeah, you gonna do something? Okay, here he goes. He's in a second. No bone detected. Attempting to get bone up to acceptable levels. And then he gets the bone meal. Now there's a tree. He's gonna go ahead and cut the tree in a second as soon as he detects it. Detected that there's a tree. Tree detected. Commencing cut down. So yeah, I put in a couple little cutesy things. So guys, I hope there's the lumber program, fully polished. I'm not doing anything more to that. So it's available out there on Pastebin if you want to download it and play with it. Yeah, let's move on. We still got a couple things to build before we wrap this up. And that shouldn't take too long because they should be mostly laid out in here. So yeah, we're not going to do the magnetic craft today. We're going to save that for the next episode because that's like a full episode by itself. But the one thing that I did want to point out is, look, we almost got enough carmite. We've almost got enough carmite to finish off making this is the blast furnace, the reinforced blast furnace. Is that what we're making today?
No, railcraft blast furnace.
The railcraft blast furnace. That's right. We needed that for the wrought iron. That's right. I kind of remember now. Oh, goodness, my inventory is full of junk. Let's see if we can put some of this stuff in here. I still get that occasional glitch where it doesn't show these two chests. I have no clue what that's all about. But there it is.
Same thing happens for me.
Does it? Okay, so it's not just my computer or anything. It's actually a glitch. Some weird combination of circumstances. I think I'm actually gonna put my piston stuff in this chest with the cogs. With the cogs, yeah, that'll do.
How's your food situation?
I'm good. I got a full thing of sandwiches yet. Let's see here now.
Okay.
Back to what I was about to do. Oh yeah, I just need space so I can pick up the redstone so I can make this recipe. I know it goes like that and that and that. There we go. 2 more carmite. There's all the carmite. And there's one other little thing that we did, a little tweak that we did on our server that may or may not make it into future updates. And that is blaze powder is craftable. The reason for that is because, first of all, not everybody needs this. If you happen to get a seed, a world seed, where you have lots of blaze dungeons, apparently that's a thing that I didn't know about because there's like hardly any of them in our world. We only just discovered one today because, 1, we started knowing exactly what to look for, and 2, somebody else was doing a bunch of exploring today and happened to find one. I looked and looked and looked and did not find one on the entire server until somebody else found it for me. So they're supposed to be rather common, and I imagine that for some people they're going to be, depending on your seed and your world and your version and all that stuff. But the point is that we couldn't find one, so blaze was basically nearly impossible for us because the only other place to get it is down on like the 3rd, 4th, and 5th levels of the dungeon, which are relatively hard and were nearly impossible until we turned the poison off. In my opinion. Now again, it's all opinion, so there we go. Now we can actually make these bricks. Finally. We've been waiting to do this for, what, like a week and a half?
Yep.
And that's all because we couldn't get blaze powder. So we added recipes for that. So if we look at blaze powder, it's gunpowder in cursed witch water.
And the layout for that is 3 long, 3 wide, 4 high. Hollow in the center.
3... 3 by 3 by 3? Are you sure it's not 4 tall?
Nope, 4. 4 tall is what I said.
Oh, okay.
A hollow in the center.
Interesting. I don't know if it's still the case, but you used to be able to break these after you farm them, and there'd be like lava in the middle.
Be lava in the middle?
Yeah. There he is. There it goes. All right, so now that we got a Railcraft blast furnace, we can turn our iron grit into wrought iron, which is wonderful. So I got 6 iron grit here. I think that's enough to do 1. What? Oh, no. I think you got to turn pig iron into wrought iron, isn't it? How does it work?
I don't know. So you knew.
Well, I did know, but he might have changed it. I didn't even think to check the recipe to make sure that this was still a valid thing.
Might not even be valid anymore. In that case, we'll take that down and we'll turn it into an arc furnace.
Oh, it's not valid anymore, dude. It requires X Nilo, iron, or lump. Oh, okay. No, we can do it. We just have to craft the. You just have to craft the iron grit into an ore lump and then throw it in there. There we go. It did change, but it didn't change. It changed, but it didn't change. It's the same amount of material as it was before. It's just now you have to actually do a step of crafting.
Move it some charcoal.
But yeah, I think. But with all that, now that we have, now that we can actually automate our wrought iron, our pig iron, and our steel, can we do that? Can we do steel? I think we can. We can actually automate the steel. But yeah, it has to go through the blast furnace a few times, so you end up using a bunch of charcoal. Anyway, it can be automated. I guess we'll show off the logistics of that later on after we actually set the logistics of it up. For now, we're just going to do it by hand. So, yeah, I think this is going to be an episode, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. We've enjoyed making it for you. If you did, be sure to leave a like, a comment, thumbs up, all that fun stuff. And until next time, we will catch you later.
See y'all on the flip.